You know what? Let's jump right in. This is the new Mitsubishi Strada. Sorry, Triton. If you're a Mitsubishi Motors fan and a rally fan, just like me, then you'll know that Mitsubishi knows evolution very, very well. We've seen that in a lot of their performance models. But even when it comes to their regular road cars and even the pickup truck, evolution also plays a key role. But one thing we didn't expect them to actually evolve was the name of the vehicle, because this is no longer known as L200 Strada. This is now known as Triton. It brings it in line very nicely with the global name of the truck in other markets. So yes, a recurring theme here would be evolution. A lot of the things about the vehicle has changed, from design, from engineering, the engine, the chassis, the suspension, the rear bed, the interior, and the features. One theme here also would be integration, because a lot of the things I spotted inside are very familiar, especially if you're a Nissan user. We'll show you in a bit. Now, when it comes to the look, we can tell you that the vehicle design has evolved quite a bit. It's no longer doing the dynamic shield design we've seen before, where it's kind of spindle-like there. This is more, I guess, squared off macho, which is kind of nice. You have the DRLs up here, the LED headlights over here, as well as other lights and accessories, all that stuff. But one thing I do remember from my conversation with the former designer of Mitsubishi when it comes to the Strada and Triton and all that, is that they position the headlights quite high up. If you notice, even though they've got the split headlight thing with the DRL and then the headlight here, they do have it quite high up. The reason for that is, well, if you're doing any kind of water wading, that's going to play a role. You want the headlights to be above the water. Now, right now, the Mitsubishi Strada Triton is only available as a double cab pickup truck. But eventually, I think they will have a single cab depending on the kind of fleet customer that they have. But check out what they did with the side. Let me know what you think of the design. I mean, with all the character lines, the way they did the fenders, it's very squared off and it's kind of cool. I particularly like the character line going down here. It's pretty nice. But also, the side steps, this is a GLS variant, the GLS two-wheel drive automatic variant. And you can see that the side steps are very neatly integrated in design with the entire body. It's pretty cool. The grip type door handles, these seem chunkier and bigger than before, which is very, very nice. But the angular effect that Mitsubishi has with their vehicle is pretty sweet to look at. And then you come over here, you do have a sports bar in this one. I think this one is an accessory, but we'll double check that in a bit. The new wheel design is also very nice. Leaf springs here in the back. This is not an all coil spring affair. They went with the leaf springs for maximum payload. Now on to cargo capacity. First, the rear. The taillights here look pretty sweet, as does the new rear bumper, which has these, I think, non-slip texture going on. Very nice. Mitsubishi logo very prominent there. The chrome trim here with the rear camera over there integrated. And then you have Triton there spelled out very big and very nice, so you won't make the mistake that I will for many more times in this video. Now, when it comes to the cargo capacity, the measurements of this one is about 55 inches from here to there. Then at the widest point, it's around 59, which is actually quite big. The height here to there is around 20. So depending on what you want to carry, you can fit it around there. One thing we've also noted about Mitsubishi before is that they position the rear axle or the wheel wells a bit forward compared to other trucks. What that gives you is a wider part, or at least a longer part here, which is a bit wider. But also it does between the narrowest points around 43 inches, there or thereabouts. What's nice though is that in the previous Strada, I noted that the height of this one is actually pretty high. This one seems a bit lower, which makes it easier for loading. This one being the GLS variant, it doesn't have the helper spring though, but still, one arm, no problem. Now this is where it really gets interesting with the new Triton. It's when you look under the hood. Now, powering the vehicle is the 4N16 turbo diesel engine. The previous one was 4N15. This one is 16, and it makes a bit more power. There are quite a few improvements. For one, this version is not the top of the line version, so it's not the most powerful one. But still, it makes 183 PS and 430 Newton meters of torque. The other version, which is found in the Athlete, is the one that has the two-stage turbo, and that one makes 204 PS and even more torque. So it's a big improvement over the previous generation. The transmission, I think they retained the transmissions because both are still the 6-speed variants, and it also seems to be retained, and it's proven to be reliable. That one I prefer. You also have the four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive variants depending on which one you pick. But the real brilliance of the new Strada slash Triton, okay, I'm gonna keep calling Strada many more times, bear with me, but is really when it comes to how they laid out everything inside the engine. Now for one, the intercooler. The intercooler is right here behind the front grille. You can see that silver thing there. If you follow the piping, that's where the intercooler is. Seems actually quite big for a pickup truck. But also, if you notice, a lot of the things about the vehicle are quite high up, and I'll use my tape measure to point it out. For one, your electronics are actually right here, along with the fuse box. Again, very high up and a bit back of the actual front of the car, which is good. And then you have your alternator here, which is also positioned high up because it just keeps it out of the water. Same with the headlights, the way I mentioned it before. But also the turbo. If you look at the turbo, it's very exposed and very, again, positioned high relative to a lot of parts in the engine. Actually, even the engine is also positioned high. You also have the shielding there for the heat shielding there. And even, I haven't noticed it before, but it has cooling for the turbo, which is pretty neat. That's something we didn't notice in the previous generation. Maybe there is, but I haven't really spotted it. Now, all these considerations are to enable the Strada to wade through a lot of water. Now, they haven't released any official figures that I know of, but easily I think this can do 800, no problem. Even the way they positioned the actual airbox, the intake goes in through the fender, so you can easily position, let's say, a snorkel if that's what you want to do. But all these changes also makes it a mechanic's dream, because if you want to service anything, if you want to change out the alternator or fix the alternator, whatever, down the line, you can easily do so with the new Triton. Like I said earlier, the Triton we're looking at is not the top of the line one, but you wouldn't really notice it when you look at the interior. Sure, when you look at the seats, these, by the way, are very, very nice, but they're not leather, same with the back. But also when you look at the dashboard, there's no fancy trim in it and all that. Even some of the bits are, not really chrome, if that's what you want. But still, it looks very good from purely aesthetics. Just checking it out, it's just very, very nice. Steering wheel, very Mitsubishi, very kind of blocky in the way they do the spokes. You've got your audio controls on the left, along with the control for the screen there. And then your cruise controls on the right spoke. When you look at the dashboard or at the instrument cluster, you've got speedometer, tachometer there, very, very conventional. And a multi-info display in the middle for things like the ADAS. Yes, this one does have ADAS with a lot of the features like the AEB and all that stuff. And then you look here, this is your infotainment screen. It is a touch screen, which is really, really cool. And then you have buttons for like functions that audio, map, camera. When you open the camera, you do get a 360 camera in this vehicle with moving object detection. So if I have someone walk around the vehicle, you'll see it being shown on the different parts, and then it will alert you to it. That's pretty cool. You do have a climate control in this one, and it's a dual zone climate control system. Down below, USB, USB-C, your engine start-stop button there, 12-volt outlet, a wireless charger, which my phone is at right now. The shifter is right here with basically PRND, and then it has a plus mode, so it has a manual mode, push to shift up, pull to shift down, and then this not being a 4x4 variant, it doesn't have the 4x4 controls here, just have a little pocket here, and then you have your lever handbrake, 2 cup holders, center armrest. The rear seat actually also very spacious. It's kind of a fixed affair. You don't really fold it down or fold the seat up. I think it's all bolted up in there. And then when we look up here, light, all that stuff, sunglass holder, 2 sun visors. Down here we also have glove compartment upper and glove compartment lower, which is pretty good. But what it won't show you in the brochure is that this is a product of the new alliance of Mitsubishi and Nissan, which is why me, as someone who drives a Navara every day, a lot of the things look very familiar. You look at the instrument cluster. If you compare this side by side with the instrument cluster on, let's say, the Terra or the new Navara, it's gonna look very, very, very familiar in many ways. The fonts, the way they do the gauges. I think they just changed out the needles and maybe the overall shape of the actual housing, but it's very much a product of the Nissan alliance that Mitsubishi has. Even the screen here, this screen, the graphics have changed just a little bit, but it is very much the same as the one in the Terra as well. Very, very nice. I mean, there's no complaint here. It's a very nice system. Same with the AC unit, the USB-C ports. A lot of the things here are very familiar. Even the key, by the way. So when you look at the key and you look at the buttons on, let's say, the Navara or Terra, the buttons are actually very similar. I mean, I have my key here. I do have a case on it. But the buttons under here are pretty much the same as the one in this one. So, which is nice. And is that really a factor? Well, it's not really a factor insofar as that I'm not complaining, because I do like this system. It's very familiar and it's very, very intuitive. And it does have the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, I think. We'll edit it out if I made a mistake on that one. But what's great about this is that it allows them to have greater synergy, to share costs and help lower the price of certain components. And all in all, just makes the vehicle more affordable. And later when we discuss the price, we'll show you why. While I do drive a Nissan every day, growing up, I was always a Mitsubishi fan. So it kind of blows my mind that they're now together and then they're building cars together, as I can see here. But what I think they achieved with the Triton is really, really good. It marries the strengths of both, and it helps get them actually be better with the vehicle overall. I mean, we're seeing that here, like with the interior. I like what they did with the interior of this one. I like what they did with the design, and particularly with the engineering that they did under the hood, under the vehicle, so on and so forth. But when you drive it around, you see all that coming together. Like, what's great here, for example, what they did with the engine, you just touch the throttle a little bit, it already moves forward very, 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 very easily and very immediately. That's something that you want in a pickup truck. Like, for example, here, going up this incline, it's a pretty steep incline, and then I'm barely touching the throttle and it's already responding very well to my input. I like that. And then I step on it more. The response is good. That is something surprising, and I'm not even driving the top of the line model with more power. This is already exceptional for what it is, at least when it comes to the response of the actual from the throttle pedal overall and from the transmission. Even with the engine running, the noise inside is very minimal. I do have something in the pocket here, so it is making a bit of noise, but it's at idle, it's very quiet. Coming into the cabin, not much noise. You know, you're just like, it's like a nice muted hum. That is surprising in a turbo diesel truck. Mitsubishi knows their turbo diesels very well. We can really feel it here. Now, I'm only alone in the car. I don't have any cargo, but the suspension manners. I mean, the way it's handling the bump. I mean, concrete generally isn't the smoothest surface that you have, but this one, doing it very, very well. It's just really managing. It's pretty quiet. Again, very smooth. In terms of handling, I mean, we're not really going to do it in a village, but it seems to be okay. It's managing the direction changes very well. Again, we'll take it on something more substantial for handling to be able to determine that. But clearly, a lot of the work has really gone into making this a better truck to drive and a better truck to own. And with a lot of the features here being shared with their friends from Nissan, also more affordable to drive. Now, this is still just a preview of the all-new Triton. Yes, I caught it. But already a lot of the things about the truck we already like. The styling, the considerations they had under the engine bay, the new cargo box, the interior, the new features, and the way it drives. I mean, just touch the throttle, even on this one that isn't the top of the line one yet, it already feels like it's got a lot of torque down low to be able to take care of business. Now, when it comes to pricing, the starting price for the Triton is just over 1.1 million to just over 1.9 for the athlete variant. This GLS variant, two-wheel drive automatic, is at 1.582. So I think it's actually pretty good value considering the kind of improvement that they made to the truck overall. The Mitsubishi Triton is a really promising pickup truck, so much so that it's making us think, what will the next generation Montero Sport be like? And that, I think, is coming up later this year. This is Vince of AutoIndustriya.com. Thanks for watching.